Jumping into
it finally happened, man. Here we are.
I know.
All right,
In the
take
top
it.
right, the Canadian, the former Terran, showing it is easy to play Protoss. It is Semper.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, we got our boy. In the blue, it is our Zerg player who clearly knows something. It is JonSnow. Representing Psystorm Gaming.
Nice plug. We do see the probe coming across the map. He is going to go for that early hatch block. Nowadays, as Protoss, you have to actually send your probe before your pylon on 13 to get this hatch block down.
Yep.
And he's done it.
Have you noticed that
creature opened as well?
Yep. A lot of Zerg players have been opening with like 16 to 15 hatch nowadays because of stuff like this.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. For a while, it was 17 hatch, and then people figured out 16 hatch would beat like a pylon scout.
Yep.
So now Protosses have countered the 16 hatch by coming out this fast because otherwise you wouldn't get here in time for the 16 hatch.
Yeah.
So he does block it, which is obviously very nice, and we'll see maybe if he goes for a glaive.
Oh, that's actually really good by Semper because if you look at the production tab, JonSnow did not make an Overlord here at 17. I believe he was at 19 or 18 and said, you know what? I'm going to get my hatchery, but he did not.
Yeah. Semper was, I think he wasn't sure if he actually took the third, so he was making sure, because sometimes the Zergs get tricky where you like block it and they pull their drone away and then you go look to the third base and they made the hatchery in the natural. And you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So but you can tell that JonSnow wants to take a third because there's still no Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big note. You have to note that. It's a pretty big deal because, you know,
his money.
There it goes.
I mean, I wonder if it's late. I mean, a little bit late because he's not going to be able to get both. Actually, the hatchery will finish, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, for the supply. Yep.
Yeah. But I'm expecting. So here's a little fun fact for your tempo. Generally, right now, if Semper instantly gets his warp gate, it's a tell that it's going to be a Twilight. And if he delays warp gate, it is going to be more likely Stargate.
Yep.
So now we see the instant warp gate. So I would have to guess that it is going to be a Twilight build from the man Semper. Now, not always, but I think it is pretty unlikely it's going to be Stargate here. But we'll see if he decides. Now, the money is building up.
Would you guess
enough gas? Tell me.
I was going to say, would you guess it to be like a Adept one or, you know, the Twilight with the Dark Shrine and...
I would guess Glaive Adept just because it's so common right now, but he's made nothing right now, and he's got 150 gas. So maybe he's got other plans for us here.
All right, then. Okay. Well, he has enough gas, yeah. Oh. Stargate. What?
Okay. A little bit of... all right. And now the Stalker is out to deflect... oh, wow. He kept everything at home as well. I think maybe just being a little bit tricky here.
I think so.
Because actually, you can play off of the insta-warp gate to make it look like you are going for some type of glaive opener. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we'll see if second gate coming in from Semper, I imagine, make it look... Yeah, we do see that gate still.
This is like one of those situations where it's so confusing because the reaction to Stargate usually is going to be Roach Warren anyway, unless you're greedy and then you go to layer and then go for your Hydras, but...
Oh, wow. It's a proxy Stargate. I didn't even notice.
Oh, okay then. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother... Yep.
I like it a lot, and I'll tell you what... Oh, Semper's misreading this a little bit. It's a situation that happens a fair amount. It happens to me as well, where you see a decent, like a handful of speedlings, and it's more than 4. So you're like, "Ooh, I'm kind of scared." And plus, he's gone for the Stargate across the map, so he's a little bit more concerned. I hope he doesn't let this pylon finish in front. He does, which is okay, I suppose. He's just a little bit scared that Nolan was coming. Maybe he saw the last series. He lets the shield battery finish. Not great for Semper here, letting all that stuff finish. But the Oracle is going to get to the main. Well, I think the Spore Collar will be done.
It should be done in time. But I mean, as far as the Overlord goes, it's more so... It doesn't look like it would be a Stargate opener, right? Like, Stalker first, Warp Gate first. It does not seem like it would be, but...
No. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's a tough situation for Semper, because this is not where he wanted to be. He made the shield better. He made the extra pylon. But he's taking a third base at a reasonable time, forcing out a lot of spores from JonSnow. JonSnow droning hard now that he knows it's Stargate. And there are 2 Oracles out. He'll look to find some damage. Not the worst situation, not over by any means. Not the ideal start, though. You're kind of like, I wish I didn't make that shield better. I wish I didn't make that extra pylon. Kind of one of those things when you're playing, you just get in your head a little bit. But killing some creep now with these Oracles, looking for drones. Not going to find much. We'll get a scout in, but...
That's it.
You know, third Oracle being made as well, which I gotta tell you, I like a tempo. Honestly, sometimes getting a decent Oracle count, although it's unorthodox and not that common, when you get up to 3-4 Oracles, it gets pretty hard for Zerg to come across the map unless they have queens.
I agree, and also kind of like will prevent all-ins for the most part, like unless you're really roach heavy. So
now we do see the Lings coming in, a bit of a surround here on these Adepts, getting an okay trade. The Oracle is coming home, but it's going to be a little bit late. These Adepts should be falling. Nice little engagement there for JonSnow. Looks like he's going to find no probes. And Semper uses the Oracle energy, which is kind of annoying. But it's okay. I'm interested to see where JonSnow goes with this. He does have an Evo Chamber. He does have his Roach Warren. I'm kind of feeling like he might go Spire. But we'll see exactly where he wants to go. I witnessed him go... I don't actually think he went Spire. Now he's going Burrowed Roaches here, Tempo.
What?
That's a little bit different.
Yeah, very different, actually. Before Lair's even done. Like, +1 burrow. Usually 100 gas at this stage of the game is, like, really valuable, right?
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
Nobody just spends 100 gas casually here, so...
Yeah, this is really interesting because... I mean, this can hit hard, and, like, if you're not ready for it and the Roaches get all in, they can do big damage, but it's... Oh, okay, Oracle's looking to find some damage here. Diving on one queen, full energy queen at that. Gonna find one queen, gonna find two queens, maybe even a third queen most likely, and a fourth queen coming to help. Semper almost running out of energy. Nice micro from Semper, getting 3 queens for free. That's actually really nice. And he's got the Observer here to clear out some creep.
The creep tumors, nice I think, is bigger. Yeah, the queens, yes. Always good to get the queens, but like getting the creep and stopping it right now is pretty impactful.
Yeah, and plus, there's less queens now to respread it.
Yep.
Now, this is a build that is very hard to recognize for Semper, because you've made 3 Oracles, you don't have a Phoenix, you don't have Amazing Scouting, but he has a double hallucinated Phoenix is coming in on the south side. He's made with 2 sentries. I like that. He's going to get a pretty big scout in, and he should see these Roaches, but it's one of those things where, as a Protoss, you don't think it's just going to be Mass Roach.
No.
You know, you're like, okay, it's Banelings, it's Mutas,
maybe
it's something else.
Like, in his mind, he's probably thinking like, okay, what am I going to deal with next?
Right, he's like, okay, I'm missing a Spire. Like, he really would, like, if Semper made 1 cannon each mineral line, I'd like it, but it's still 80 seconds away on Tiling Claws. So yes, there is Burrow, but he still has 80 seconds to really rev up and get that Tiling Claws. But, I mean, what's the army comp right now? Oof, he's making some Archons. It's okay. Wow, a lot of Roach Ravager coming across the map, and he does not have much Oracle energy tempo, so it's a little bit scary here.
Yeah, he's used a lot of it to deal with those drones, and now he sees it right now with the Roaches and Ravagers coming up. +1 just finished here for Semper, by the way, so that's one thing to note.
Yep, and he's got a Mega Battery here that will help him, but JonSnow coming in looking for damage, throwing some vials down. The Oracles do see the other army wrapping around the north-hand side, but I think Semper will be okay. Oracle is using their energy now. They don't have a lot of it. They are finding Ravagers. JonSnow coming in from the front. He's just looking for a massive surround, but there's a Mega Battery here. There's Oracles above, but there's not a whole lot of ground left for Semper.
No, there's really not. He has shield batteries, but that's a lot of Zerg on the ground. 2 Archons there trying to hold the line, but with the Warp Prism, can they do it? Can they do it, M. Canning?
Wow. Nice hold.
Double
really well
Immortal.
Done.
Oh, the 3rd Immortal comes out, and now these Roaches have to get out of there.
Yeah. JonSnow actually, I don't mind the attack. He was actually very close to breaking him. I think he really needed to pile down that Super Battery. It put in so much work and saved so many of Semper's units that that was really the game changer there. I think if he focuses down the battery, he might have a chance. Now, JonSnow's still pushing up. JonSnow only on 67 workers. Now, the Burrowed Roach is coming in, but the Observer sees it.
Yep.
And now he knows that it's Burrowed Roaches, which is a great scout for him. He should be queuing up another Observer, but there are no cannons in either of his bases. A little bit scary.
Yeah. And also
the Oracles.
Yeah, the Oracles, but watch this. 3 Roaches going into the main here. So this is kind of like, you know, diversion. Where in the main base, how many workers are we going to see? I think that Semper knows. Yep, he brings in Immortal and the 3 Oracles, so beautifully done. Wow, Semper's killing it right now, but yeah, the supply makes it look like it's like not in the Protoss favor, but you have to understand, these are Roaches. They take up a lot of supply. So.
Mass Roach, I'm a little bit concerned at the Mass Archon because actually Archons are not that amazing versus Roaches. I love the second Robo moves. He recognizes it as Mass Roach. But JonSnow trying to find some damage. It's no Ravagers. It's literally just Immortals. I think Semper's not really... I mean, half his army's not really attacking, but he's Maybe he's like, what's going on exactly? Why am I being attacked? Of course, the burrowed Ling is cute, holding on to the 4th base. I like that. Prism pushing across from Semper. I like moves being made by both players right now. But I think the longer this game goes on, especially when the immortal count gets higher and higher, this should be really good for Semper.
A lot better for Semper for sure. And he's gearing up here, getting 2 immortals at a time. That 4th base does need to be taken though, I'm canning, does it not? Like, you can't stay on 3 bases for too long.
It does, but another big engagement going out, and Semper getting another nice win here. He's got the Oracles. Now their Archons are getting a little bit low, and Archons, again, not great versus Roaches. But, you know, tanking it, getting some good damage done. He's really struggling to get this 4th base. Prism in the main, warping in some Zealots. JonSnow's Roaches popped out at just the right time for it. Nice little move for him. But now the supplies are even. And JonSnow, yes, he's on 75 drones, but he has been incredibly committed for a very long time. Now, yes, the 4th base is insanely late. But we're running into a situation like we had in our first game with Creature where it doesn't really matter that much because the longer this game goes on, the better it is.
For Protoss.
For Semper, yes.
Yep. I agree.
But it's a fine line because the longer these 4th bases get denied, then it does start to get dicey for Semper. He cannot really afford to lose another 4th, and the Roaches are coming in, and they might just snipe it again, Tempo.
Yep, here we go. A lot of Immortals here, though, and I think these Roaches have to get out of there. Even getting tagged by the Oracles, man. Archons lead the pack. Oh, AI? Okay. You know that feeling.
You know, as more and more go down now, I do love this Lurker play coming in from JonSnow. It makes a lot of sense to go Roach Hydra into Lurker, because you don't really have a great spot to go Hive Broodlord. You're not going to go Banelings because you've been going for Roach upgrades. So you're going to go for more Ground Army. And Lurkers make a lot of sense. Now, Lurkers really benefit once he gets Hive. I would like to see an Infestation pick come down. And JonSnow has a lot of bank. So he will have Lurkers, but again, those Archons that I said aren't amazing versus Roaches in high numbers will be amazing versus Lurkers. And Semper has a great army versus Mass Lurker. And he's on pure Immortal, basically.
I would say, yeah, his army comp is like really good for what JonSnow is doing, right? But what about the Lurkers when they come out? It's gonna take a little bit of time for them to get online, but 14. Yeah. Are you? Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very strong attack, but he's got the 3 Oracles to revelate them. He's got the Immortals. It still can be tough though, because if the Lurkers siege up in a spot where Semper is not ready, they can put in massive damage. And JonSnow has been very annoying. He just has small groups of Roaches on both ends now, just keeping him at bay and just teching up behind it. I like the moves JonSnow is making right now because he knows the Roaches aren't as valuable now, but he's just being annoying with them while he does everything. You know, now he's up to 80 drones, he's max, he's getting Hive. Semper's has time to attack though.
Yep, but he can attack because he's always defending, but I do love Semper's defense, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he's been pretty impregnable here.
Yep.
Every single time JonSnow tries to go in, he gets one of those gateways, which is great. Warp gate goes down, but
fight happening in the middle of the map though. The Immortals see all the Lurkers. I don't think Semper realizes how many Lurkers, but now it's just Lurkers. Semper taking a nice win across the map, getting about 5 workers, also holding the attack at the north hand side. Semper doing a great job. He's gonna try to make a push to the 4th, and he's got so much Immortal and Storm.
Dude, the Immortals,
I don't think Semper can challenge.
I don't think so either. This Immortal count is disgusting.
Yeah, and he's got so much Storm. How does JonSnow ever push up and engage? Really nice positioning here from Semper. He's going to clean up this base, and he should be able to get the north base. We'll see if JonSnow does try to challenge. But JonSnow's going to have to give up 2 bases here, I think. As long as Semper realizes there's a base to the north. Yep. That should be good for him.
All right, so he gets it. Going to back on off there. Now, where's the War Prism at? I don't see it, but on the other side of the map, there was a little bit of a ragtag group of Roaches that tried to get something done. I think they got one more Warp Gate, but that was it. You know, like 1 Warp Gate for a base, I don't think that's really a good trade if you're the Zerg at all.
Bit of a Lurker shot on the high ground. The drones could be going down at the north side, and they do. 6 of them. Oh, a lot of them go down. Huge Zealot counterattack in the natural, but there's a lot of units here for JonSnow. Semper needs to run away with these Zealots if he can, but a very nice move. Roach is moving into the natural as well. Action happening everywhere, but seems like Semper is getting the better end and doing a nice job handling these Burrowed Roaches and handling the Lurker transition.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things you have to do as a Protoss, because Lurkers can blindside you, but if you're able to deal with them, it takes a long time for them to get online. Like, you have to get the seismic spikes. It takes forever. Yep. Now, and then if you want to get the other one too, like the Adaptive Talons, that's another, like, what, 60 seconds at least? So
Semper is accruing a massive bank. I am a bit scared only because like when those lurker upgrades happen, it is a huge power
That's when it,
spike for the lurker.
exactly.
It's huge. It's huge. But it's a perfect armor for Semper, and he thinks he might have some position to move in here. Some storms going down, Immortals going down. He does see only 2 lurkers at the front. He's got so much storm. It's hard for this Hydra army to ever really engage. JonSnow going for a massive surround. Semper kiting back, big storms all over the place. Semper getting a nice trade here. Really nice trade because he has a big bank and he can afford this trade. But got to be careful. Those lurkers do have seismic spines, and now they are doing big damage. But Semper thinks he can break it right now.
He's gonna try. What do you feel about this? Like, how do you, I mean, you're a Protoss player, right? So like, is it dicey? Like what?
I liked it up until that last move with all the Zealots. Now it's a little bit scary because if he loses all of his power, he's in a little bit of trouble. He does have that massive bank though. And JonSnow now down to 62 workers, down to 3 bases. JonSnow's all in. He has to kill Semper basically with this push. It's a little bit dicey because Semper is going for 2 Stargates when he really just needs ground. You can get in that spot where you go to carriers, but he just needs ground. Stalker's a little bit dicey considering it's so many lurkers. I'm a little bit scared. But he's got the super battery. As long as he's in position and he can take a nice fight with the super battery, we'll see. The probes are off the line right now.
Yeah, they are. I feel like usually, wow, good storms, but good dodging there by JonSnow. I always feel like you're a Protoss and you think, okay, Broodlords are inevitable, right? So you drop down those Stargates and it's like, you can't continue to go Zealot, Stalker, Immortal because if there ever is a Broodlord transition, you're done, son.
Yeah. It's no longer an all-in now because he did kill 26 workers. There were 2 bios on the high ground above his third. That's why his probes were off the mining. It wasn't just Roaches. JonSnow turned them into Ravagers and was biling from the high ground. Now JonSnow repositioning. Semper really needs to super battery here. 3 Roaches on the south side should be a tell that it's a bit of a distraction. The Roaches, bro, but he can't. JonSnow can't break this right now.
No, but it's more so to try to get some.
Is huge.
He wants to get some kind of economic damage with the 3 Roaches because, of course, Roaches do 3-shot. Oops, sorry. Roaches do 3-shot those workers here. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm kidding. It don't seem like it, man.
Nope. Now there is a nice little arc, but it's only 6 lurkers, and Semper's army is a lot stronger now. He is pushing forward with Stalkers, Immortals, Archons. He thinks he has it, and I agree with him.
I think he does.
Does he not have an observer though? The lurkers. Where's the observer?
He has cannons though, but yeah, observer. He doesn't need those.
Oh, a little bit behind. Really tragic for Semper because I think he would have won the game there. I think he would have cleaned up that army and he would have won the game. Now we do see a big Zealot counterattack on the south side happening. I still like this position greatly for Semper. He's got a nice composition. He has a nice economy, but yeah, Zealot's doing pretty big things right now.
Big thing. As they go to the 4th base here of JonSnow. Yeah, there's not enough here at all.
Pull up that income tab for a second if you can, unless you have the. We see Semper doubling the income right now of JonSnow. It's not just a little bit of better mining. He is really, like, the longer this game goes on, the better it gets for Semper. He's taken very nice fights all game. He's made nice decisions against the Burrowed Roaches. And he is in the spot. He's in the spot to lose right now. He's making some Stalker Archon, which is kind of interesting. Maybe he's expecting Broods or something. I'm surprised it's not
I
more
think that's
Zealots.
what he's expecting. But, I mean, when you go Lurker, though, as a Zerg, you use a lot of gas to make them, right? They're not cheap.
You do.
So.
You do. Maybe he's expecting Vipers, which Vipers are coming out. Now, the thing JonSnow has going for him, he does have a very strong army, but he does have a very bad economy. I love the Lurker from JonSnow at his 4th base, just to help against run-bys a little bit, because we see more Zealots coming down in that 4th base. Nice harass by Semper. And at the same time, he's posturing on the north-hand side, so he's trying to double it up right now.
Yeah. And, man, he got that base as well, so I think he's pretty comfortable here, right? 4 bases to... He's actually on 5 now. Wow. Semper is killing it right now. He's actually just very comfortable, I would say.
Yeah, and his army is stronger. I think he does realize it, and he's going to try to make an attack happen. Now, he actually probably would have won before, but now he's got the Observer, he's got the Oracle. He's just clearing up creep is very nice. Handling the Ling, attacking his 1 base. I'd love to see the Prism go to the main, but Semper clearing up all the creep now. And now JonSnow has basically 0 vision, which is not what you want as a Zerg.
No. Not at this stage, right? Like, it's nearly 20 minutes into the game, so...
Prism is going to the main, and he rerouted away from the Spore, which is nice, and probably going to be a big Zealot Warp in, and we will. And JonSnow has so many Lurkers, this could be really hard to handle. We're going to see the Vipers maybe abduct it. They do, but the Zealots are in the main base, and it's going to set up for the posture at the 3rd base. Semper coming in on the 3rd base. Big Storms, big Immortals, big Archons. And the Lurkers are putting out good damage, but I'm not sure there's enough actual units here. The Immortals
I don't think so.
Find this base, but JonSnow kind of is holding, but he loses another base.
Oh, the storms are so good, though. But don't forget about the main either, right? The Zealot is still inside of the main base. So JonSnow focused so much on killing this army, but
no,
this is a great push by Semper.
Yeah, and he did kill a lot of lurkers. He killed 12 drones, of course. Of course, that base is oversaturated as well. But now Semper's already setting up his next base. And I love, you know what, my favorite thing right now from Semper this game is that he is not going into carriers. Now, you could go carrier, but there's Vipers, there's Hydras out. He's just going pure Immortal. And when it's heavy lurker numbers, this is what you want. You want the Immortals. I like the decision-making from him. And now the next fight probably should be the game-winning one from Semper. Okay. His army is actually quite a bit better. And, you know, give it another minute or two. I mean, the income tab just tells the tale. He's dominating in money. Now that this base is about to be saturated, it's going to even spike even harder. JonSnow, no map vision. And Semper in control to win this. And we do see the fight coming forward. The Archons, the Stalkers. Nice arc, nice lurker harass.
Are you more of a fan of like the ground army, like the overpowering with the Immortals rather than going like Tempest against lurkers, or? It
depends the exact game. Because I usually will go to carriers.
Yeah.
Zealot harass. Oh no, that guy's Zealot harass. But I think when it's heavy lurker, heavy Immortal is really good, because otherwise they can go Viper Hydra and they can just yoink all your carriers, and then their lurkers siege your bases and kill your workers. It's tight. It's Razor's Edge.
It's different,
StarCraft,
it depends,
right? Like sometimes carriers work, sometimes they don't. We do see Semper is aware that he is basically ready to win the game, but he's having a hard time pushing through his lurkers.
Yep.
He is.
I like that he made these, I don't know if he made them again, the oracles, but trying to get an observer usually can be kind of dicey, because if it gets sniped, you're kind of done, but...
Actually, he might have remade them. You're right. I forgot. Yeah. I was like, I forgot he had no more. I thought he had no more Stargates, but he did remake Stargates.
No, he lost 4 oracles this game. I think, he remade them.
We see Zealot counterattacks all over the map. Semper pushing forward now with all the Zealots coming into other bases. Big storms, big blinding cloud though. Nice holding by JonSnow. He's been in a pretty bad spot for a couple of minutes here, so he's done a nice job staying in the game. But at a certain period of point tempo, I mean, the income is just gonna. I mean, it's been the toe we've been talking about. Now the army is holding. But
SC2 is all about
he's taking another base. He's taking another base. I guess JonSnow's taking another base, though, as well.
But remember, he lost a third base, though. So he's not been mining from that third base location for this whole time. So it's definitely one of those things where it looks okay and maybe a little even, but I feel like Semper's miles ahead right now.
And we're down to 3 lurkers. It is over. It is over. Semper taking game 1.
What a game, dude. What a game.
A very important game for Semper to win, you know, because JonSnow is one of the people. Semper, if he's going to get out of this group, he's probably going to be around the third place spot. So JonSnow was around that spot as well. So winning this series would be massive for his chances to move on in this group. And he gets that game 1. Really nice play, really different builds from both of them. You do not see much Proxy Stargate. No. You do not see much Mass Burrow Roach. So it was a bit different. Yeah. I think I actually liked a lot of the moves both players made. I think Semper just handled the Burrowed Roach really well. I think it was a little bit unlucky for JonSnow, because when he finally brought in the Burrowed Roaches, the Observer was there and he saw it.
Already.
So he was kind of able to handle it right away, which, you know, a little bit unfortunate, because then it made the hand, because he had no cannons.
Yeah, and usually Burrowed Roaches, like when, I mean, dude, I'll tell you right now, even in ZVZ, where you get surprised by them, it's more so about where does it go from there. Every time, if you don't see them coming, you're screwed, because you're scrambling. That 4th attention, or rather the 3rd resource in SC2 is attention, right? So
right, it is. You know, you're trying to, I think it's a nice game. I don't think we're going to see Burrowed Roaches again from JonSnow. It was actually an interesting game, because after opening 3 oracles, it can be tough to actually get good scouting in, because you've gone 3 oracles, but then you're clearing creep, you're scared to get too close to the queens, you know. All that stuff. So, and
don't forget, it was a delayed Stargate opener too.
Yeah, it was. So. It was, and it was. It was an interesting game all around. I agree. The Stargate. I think maybe he wasn't sure, or wasn't exactly gonna go for a proxy oracle, but then he wanted to go proxy oracle because it felt a little bit late. With the money situation, but worked out. And you know what's nice about that is actually he didn't find too much damage with the oracles, but then they were so useful for the
value. Game. I was gonna say, the value like throughout the game.
Yep.
Especially with the JonSnow going for like Burrowed Roach. what better unit than an Oracle to be able to like detect that if you need to?
Imagine if he had no Oracles, that becomes way more, very difficult to hold.
Yep.
I completely agree. And we got Every Dream Map 2 now. Semper needs a minute. I will tell you that this is a map that some of the Korean Zerg think is very hard to beat Protoss on.
Really?
Now,
why is that?
We are not Korean Protosses.
No, we're not.
We are not.
We're actually not even Korean. We're not even Korean.
No, that's true. That's true. But I personally do not like Every Dream that much versus Zerg. So basically, right, this map I think is one of the best maps to go for the glaive build. It's really popular. You hit about 8 glaives, about 427, 430.
Okay.
And it can be very hard to hold for Zerg players because basically what this build does is it keeps the Zerg player on about 40 drones.
Yep.
And the Protoss, you're on about 40 workers. And like maybe you don't win the game with the Adepts, but you keep them on a low drone count for a long time.
Okay.
And I think this is one of the strongest maps to do that build because you get across the map fast. You can it's the natural and the third are pretty far away. You can shade in and put a lot of pressure on. I believe that is why they don't like this map, but I don't like this map.
You don't like this map, so do you veto this map on your stream? Do you just veto it?
No. I do not veto any maps right now. Actually.
Okay, cool. But you don't like it.
It's I don't know.
You feel some type of way. You feel some type of way. Like,
I can't get my 4th base. Yeah, I don't know. I agree. Yeah, it's something about
Ever Nightmare is what they should rename it for Protoss. Then. Is that what
yeah. So basically, all the guys, let me tell you, the top pros in Korea, the Zergs. I mean, Zerg propaganda, you never know.
Yeah.
But they think this is a great map for Protoss. I don't like it, though. So,
they might be onto something. They might be onto something. You never know.
We'll see. I mean, maybe this is JonSnow's map pick. We really don't know.
We don't.
And, yeah. Very exciting game 1. A lot of defense happening. Semper really defending all game long. I like the way he was playing. But JonSnow making a lot of cool moves as well. And in the bottom left, it is the Zerg player who really battled hard from a bad position at last game. This Storms Gaming JonSnow.
Indeed. And in the top right-hand corner, we got our green Protoss player representing Montreal, Canada. It is going to be our green Protoss player, Semper.
Nice.
It's so weird to say that. I can't. I'm not ready. I can't.
I'm ready. I can accept more Protosses in my life.
It's
funny about that last game though. Is like I was giving Semper some praise, but after a certain period of time, JonSnow was taking some good engagements because Semper's income was better for a while in that late game. I thought the game could have ended a few times, but I mean JonSnow was taking some nice fights, keeping it close, battling back. So it was all the right moves that were made by both players. It was really an even game, and I think. It's really 50-50 between these two. I really believe it's a very even matchup here. And
which is weird to say because Semper's not been Protoss for like that long, relatively.
No, this is his first major tournament he even registered as Protoss.
Yeah.
He basically hasn't played in any tournaments. He's just been laddering on Europe. And yeah, this is basically his first tournament.
That's what I mean. Like so, that's it's like when Neeb at Protoss, and it was like, oh man, he's screwed, man. There's no way this guy is gonna be able to transition from Terran, man. And then look at him.
You know what it is? So Semper has a full-time job. He works a lot. He's actually pretty busy.
Okay.
A lot of the time, and so he doesn't get to practice like Neeb gets to practice. But 2 things I'll say to that point, which I like you brought up, is both the players, Semper and Neeb, were amazing Terran players. These
that's what I mean.
Your run-of-the-mill Terran players. Like they were amazing. Like
it wasn't like they were like struggling.
Top Terrans.
That's what I'm talking about.
Them finding success with Protoss is not unreasonable.
I don't get it.
They were very good.
But,
why? The thing is as well. So I guess JonSnow also, he graduated university. I believe he is also working. So they're both working. So. Neither of them maybe should be feeling too stressed because it's not your full-time gig. And I feel like as a player, you don't practice as much, but sometimes it puts your mind at ease tempo.
Okay.
It puts your mind at ease when you're not as committed.
Committed to it, yeah. You know who's a really good example of that? Suppy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was more extreme where he wouldn't even play. And then
That's what I'm talking about. Good. Yeah.
So another interesting opener, no tech yet from, it looks like Stargate, another Stargate opener. After the Adept and after the Warp Gate, and Warp Gate pretty deep. Interesting Stargate location. I mean, he saw the Oracle or the Overlord go into the main, so he's just trying to be a little bit sneaky. And actually, 2 things I will tell you is this game, Semper did not. Oh no, wait, never mind. Oh no, no. He didn't probe scout. I was looking at his vision. He didn't probe scout. He only sees, I believe, I believe he just got it with the Adept. Maybe he did. I don't know.
I don't know.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, JonSnow Zergling went all the way around the map. He was looking for a proxy this game after that last game. He's got the entire north side. And yeah, I mean, I kind of like what's happened here. A bit of a mind game, I think, from Semper. A little bit of a delayed Stargate. And I mean, basically just a standard opener from Semper.
I would say so.
And standard from JonSnow as well. So we're getting into it. Final series of the day tempo.
Dude, I can't believe it, man. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end, my man. We do not get to cast enough.
You know, we're keeping this broadcast live until the next time we go live.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But next time I'm gonna have everything. Production is gonna be like on point. Today I was not ready. I took my dog for a walk and then I got back home and I'm like, oh my god.
As long as we're here with the StarCraft game.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
So wait, okay, yeah. So there are 2 overlords in the main now. Has JonSnow seen the Stargate? He has, so he does know.
He has to, yeah.
He has. I checked his vision. He does see it now. Semper, nice little move trying to keep this probe alive. Nice little movement by both players trying to find it. And I mean, that was a good trade for Semper. And 2 drones at the same time.
Yep, with the Oracle. Okay. Not bad, not bad.
Third base getting a little bit delayed. You see Semper's money rising. He did want to take that third a couple of times, I believe. So, and again, we have 3 Oracles coming out. I don't mind it at all. I think these type of Oracle builds can be very good. I
would say so as well. I was gonna say like delaying the third base from Semper was nice, but it's still sub 5 minutes, so I think he's okay. And now here we go. We're gonna go into the mid game.
We also have we don't. Never mind. I thought that was a second Roach one. Yeah, I don't mind. I think this build is very susceptible to the Queen March, which is actually pretty common. People walking their queens across the map with Roach, Ravager, Ling,
a laser.
Trying to break you. It is a very common build. Like you do see it quite a bit, and this build 3 Oracle would be in a lot of trouble versus it. So if we go to a third game, I wouldn't be surprised if JonSnow does do something like that, if he picks up on this 3 Oracle tendency from Semper. But you know, it makes like just standard Roach Ravager attacks not that strong. Oracle is dancing in the main, finding a couple drones and some damage on the Queen. I like the control, diving back in.
I love the control. And that's a Terran control right there, right? He's like, ah! Okay, so basically, yeah, gets it out of there. Pretty unscathed.
I don't know. He found those 2 extra drones, but taking hull damage on the Oracle is always scary. And it does look more standard from JonSnow, but he is going missile attack, not +1 melee. I'll be interested to see if he does go for Roach Ravager Baneling, which is probably the most common Zerg meta right now. It does look like it with all the Lings that are being produced. Just looks like standard stuff from both players right now. Oh, the Queen March.
But look, the Queens are coming. But you know what's cool about this? The Observer spots it.
Oh, that's huge.
That's huge, right?
That's huge. And the new battery is so big, and it's 44 drones. You see 3 batteries coming down instantly. He needs some cannons, though. He really needs some cannons.
Does he have a force? Oh, he does.
Yeah. Now, the Oracles are going to... Oh, he triple uses the Oracle energy. I don't hate it to kill some of these Lings. This is do or die. It's 44 drones right now. This is 100%
He's all in.
From JonSnow.
Yep. They don't call him the 40 drone king for nothing. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a little bit scared right now for Semper. I mean, this is a big push. The Oracle's trying to fight off some. A lot of the Lings going down, which is pretty big for Semper. But I don't know. It's a big army right now. And the 3 Oracles don't give him much help. Only 2 Immortals and a lot of sentries. Not a whole lot of real damage here.
But the shield batteries.
He's going to try to find the army in the north. Force field's going down pretty good as well. Trapping just some Immortals right now. Kind of a nice trade, but again, not a ton of damage from Semper's army here.
No, but I think it's always okay to do this, right? If you don't take any damage, really. He has his shield batteries to fall back on, right? So
no, this is incredibly all in. Even if he loses some workers, and he did lose 9 workers, it's still completely okay for Semper. Taking a really nice engagement there. And JonSnow going into drones, he's giving up on this.
No.
I would be happy in Semper's position right now.
You cannot, as a Zerg player, this is bad. Yep. It's not a good feeling at all. Oh,
Charge is done. He's going to have +1 here soon. He's getting a Prism. He's got all of his Oracles alive. I really like the spot for Semper. And
I do.
It's a little bit scary because pushing across the map, I mean, it's still Roach, Ravager, Ling. He can get surrounded. He's going to try to get these queens in the front. He's
going to get them.
A little bit. Well,
at least one, maybe. Yep. But that's a scary army here, I'm canning. You know?
Yeah, and neither can really engage each other right now in this middle of the map. If I'm Semper, I just chill right now, knowing I have a better composition. I get my Storm. I get everything. He's got a Prism. I think Semper's doing what he did last game, kind of getting control of the creep. And there is not much creep now.
No.
For JonSnow in this map.
Not at all.
And
The fourth base might be under pressure. It might be under pressure, yo.
JonSnow can hold it.
I don't think he can either.
There are still 3 queens. Okay, JonSnow, a lot of roaches actually did Semper overcommit. He's kind of in a bit of a concave here. The Oracle is trying to help out. Big bios landing on Semper's army. This is not a good fight for Semper right now. Oracle's now fighting the queens. Semper's losing a lot. He needs a big warpin to help.
That's not a big warpin.
Okay, no. The numbers
it's a decent one, though.
Around.
But the Immortals, I'm canning. The Immortals are still alive. Look at them. Going in right now, Semper. Gonna be able to push on in, and the Zealot Warpin is gonna be able to at least kind of turn the tides of battle here. And oh my god, is he gonna do it? Oh, that's a lot of lings though.
Yeah, he needs to. Okay, I like this recall. Gonna lose some units, of course. Actually saved a lot of the high important units. Now this was great for Semper. He's got a bit of a bank, which actually helps him here, because now he can just warp in a few times, and then he's gonna have more army. And now it is Ling Hydra. The roaches are basically gone, and this army versus Ling Hydra is very good. Now we see a Baneling Nest, but we have no Ling upgrades. So there's not going to be +2 Banelings. +2 Banelings, one-shot probes, which is really the big part of
That's
PvZ.
it, yeah.
Now Semper needs to get a 4th base soon, but Semper was, just until a moment ago, Semper was up workers. He was up 66 probes to 60 drones, which is massive in PvZ.
Okay.
So I still love the spot for Semper. He's getting Storm. He's got a better army composition by quite a lot right now.
I would say so.
+2 missile for Zerg, but now he's going into Baneling. I'm not exactly sure.
You know what?
JonSnow has a really weird army now.
Yeah, I would say that I agree with you, because usually you're gonna be like having a solid transition into like, say, Lurker, right? You have +2 Lurkers come through, but going for +1 now and then trying to go Ling Bane Hydra, we're kind of past that mid-game scenario, right?
Yeah.
We're getting to that point where it's not going to be as impactful.
Yeah, I really... Semper big warping in the main as well. Ling drop in the main from JonSnow. Semper Zealots in the main, nothing nearby as well. These Zealots might find some damage, kind of move commanding for a bit. Semper going to retake his 4th. Ling's now in the natural of Semper looking for some damage. No cannon there, so they might find a few probes. Just a couple, if anything. And, I mean... After all this, this was a good couple minutes for JonSnow, finding a little bit of damage, canceling the 4th base. Those are pretty big wins, because this 4th base, again, like last game, like we've seen it multiple times today, very late. Protoss have been having a hard time getting this 4th base for some of these Zergs that have been a little bit pesky. Of course, this game's a little bit different because it was an all-in. So
a little bit, yeah. I know.
But,
you have to remember that, right? That's where we kind of came from. So I think the biggest deal, though, for JonSnow, though, is the fact that, like, that buying of time was huge, because he wasn't looking too hot as far as his comp.
I still love the spot for Semper, and I will say I'm not sure if nerves are playing an issue. He's going up to 82 workers right now. He's already basically mining out of his main and his natural. He's just hammering home that probe key right now. I think maybe a little bit of miss macro. I think if this was a ladder game, he would have cut probes and not be this oversaturated with how little he's mining. But not the worst situation, but it's something I am a little bit concerned about. We do see Lings dropping into the main again eventually.
All right.
And we have +2 melee on the way.
They do, yeah. Very close, by the way. And I think he actually completed his Baneling Nest as well. So,
yep.
Could be something pretty cool. But I don't believe we're gonna see those Lings do that. Most likely gonna be timed at the same time as like some kind of an attack, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah. This is a nice Zealot in the north. Gets the cancel on the hatchery. It's actually just like JonSnow canceled the 4th base. Semper just scouted the bottom and the top. He knows there's no 5th base yet for JonSnow, so he feels like, okay, big Banelings! Finding 9 workers, which actually helps out Semper a little bit because he's so overprobed. Now he's up to 85. He can't stop. He can't stop, won't stop on these probes, Tempo.
Yeah. Okay, then. But now we're starting to see it, because we're going to that point of the game where Protoss gets Storm. The Immortal count is not that crazy. It's only 3, so... I would say that usually you would expect there to be more, but I think it's because it's not very much of a roach-heavy army here from JonSnow. So
JonSnow going for a big arc. He thinks maybe he can break him right now, but with Storm, with all this, I'm not sure he can. There's a bunch of cannons, a bunch of batters. It is setting up for a Baneling counterattack at the 3rd that got cleaned up by Archons and Zealots, so maybe he was just trying to bait for those Archons. We have a large warping coming on the south side as well from Semper. I mean, this composition is really good, but does Semper see this army right outside of his 3rd? He is removing the batteries. He should be okay to stall. Nice split of his army as well. Pretty tough to do.
Not bad. Yeah, I would say this is like the best way to do it. And I would love for him to do the Ling drop here in the main at the same time.
Oh, wow. Tempo. We already have carriers coming out, and Greater Spire is just halfway done. He's going to go into Greater Spire. JonSnow has a massive bank, but carrier is already coming out. I'd love to see a Mothership and a 5th base from Semper at this point. Zealot's finding some damage in the main base. JonSnow cleaning up the natural, but Zealot's kind of going in on the main. JonSnow's only on 60 workers right now. He's remaking some drones, but he went down to 60 workers, and Zealot's at the 5th base now. If he kills this base, he's not going to be able to get it, but
I don't think he's going to get it, but yeah.
I love the moves being made right now.
Good moves here. And I was talking about, like, as far as the Overlord in the north side here for JonSnow.
Yeah.
I think he forgot about it, dude.
Maybe.
I think he just forgot about it.
Banelings now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Zealot's getting surrounded here. It doesn't really matter because Semper's going into carriers now. Like, he's fine trading out Zealots. Zealots coming back in. The army lost track of the Zealots. Now it might get this 5th base. I don't think it will.
It's so even, though. The units lost is so even.
Yeah, but if these Zealots get this 5th, man, it's going to be so low, though. The next Zealot run by. And JonSnow has really had a hard time getting this 5th base up and mining. He's on 59 drones. This is a terrible spot for JonSnow right now. I look at his army composition, 39 roaches. Yes, that's nice. But it's 13 High Templar. We have carrier tech coming out.
Yep.
This Broodlord isn't going to do nothing on 59 drones.
No.
Now, yes, he's maxed. He's got a bank. It looks on the surface like it's a little bit okay. But with this few drones, lack of 5th base until now, it just looks great for Semper.
It doesn't. Yeah, I feel like Semper's in a great spot right now. 84 workers. Yeah, sure, he might have a few too many workers, but however, I'd rather have more workers than, like, you know, too few.
Big attack coming in. He's trying to break this 5th base. Storms on both ends. He has 2 armies with a lot of storm on both ends, but can it be too much to control? He's controlling both sides pretty well. We see storms coming down on the north and the south side. Baneling's finding okay damage, but Storm's finding way more, and now we see a pretty big supply lead.
Big time. And his bank, that is the story.
It's gone
He's
now.
1K plus.
But yeah, for Semper, JonSnow had a big bank. Now he made 12 Corruptors. But we're already on carriers. We're on Storm. Zealot counterattacks again. I mean, again, low drone count. Not a great army composition. We have Adrenal Glands coming in for JonSnow, even though there are not... How many lings? We have 8 lings. He does not need Adrenal Glands right now, Tempo.
No.
I'll tell you that. And he does
it's nice to have.
You see Banelings. Banelings coming in, trying to find damage. Nice wall.
Wow.
Unless that was Actually, no. JonSnow just was rallying that somewhere else.
But
you see Banelings coming out of the 3rd base where there's a decent number of workers, while the Zealots are looking for stuff across the map. Banelings finding okay, all right, pretty
not
big
bad,
damage.
not bad.
All right,
JonSnow, I see you, brother, man.
18 workers. I still almost feel like this is nice for Semper with how many workers he had and how oversaturated he is.
But imagine, that's what he did. He's like, okay, I'm going to lose a lot of workers later in the game, so I'm going to make 85 workers. And then when I lose them, I'm going to be at a perfect probe saturation.
Mothership is out. I mean, the army for Semper is much stronger right now than JonSnow. Now, what is that carrier count? Let me look. It is 7.
Oh, God.
Versus 12 Corruptors, 26. Now, the Vipers I like a lot from JonSnow. It's this one chance where he can maybe pull them back, but Semper thinking he can actually win the game right here. I'm a little bit scared. He doesn't. If he takes big Baneling hits, loses his Storm, he can still lose this fight. A big Concave on creep, a bit spare, big Storm throw.
Oh, my God! Whoa!
Amazing storms everywhere. On the Banelings in the front, the Corruptors, he kept his High Templar in the back as well. They did not eat the Banelings. And yes, JonSnow might clean up, but this was an amazing fight. We have Zealot ET in the 5th base cleaning up all the workers. Now again, yes, he loses his air, but he kills the 5th base, he kills the drones, he kills a ton of the Banelings, which was a lot of resources.
Dude, that was awesome. Yeah, the way that he actually, like, got the attention there in the middle and then went to kill the base, because it is a game of inches in StarCraft 2. Getting some kind of damage like at the 5th base, he's going to starve JonSnow out. And look at him. He has a lot of gas, but he does not have a lot of money.
Yep, JonSnow not even making... He's down to 7 Corruptors. Can't even make any Broodlords. Wouldn't even be very useful. He's going for the Infestors, which at this point, I mean, you got a lot of gas.
You got to, because you have a lot of gas, yeah.
You think, okay, I can't go Broods. It's really his only option is these Hail Mary Infestors. And I mean, Semper still could use another base. I will say that. But, I mean,
he doesn't need
it. The DT's Tempo, killing another base here.
Again, Overseers are going to come up. Going to be able to clean that up. Beautifully done here from JonSnow. But he's playing whack-a-mole. You know, Semper's just kind of like...
I want you to notice right now, Army pushing through the middle, Zealot DT on the north, Zealots on the bottom. He's really trying to tax the attention. He's got a big army that can't be challenged in the front while he harasses on the sides. really
And
nice
that's a sign of a
moves, and
Terran player playing Protoss, right? Like he.
he's doing very well, controlling it all. And now I think he might be going for that big push to end the game. He senses it. He senses that there's not a lot not left. There's a lot of infestors, but
Wow,
feedback's coming
Semper's
down.
pretty freaking good. Protoss, damn, I gotta give it up to him.
Yep.
JonSnow's a very scary Zerg player, so
Yep. Now,
to see this
am-
happen.
I mean, I don't want to do the casual thing because I do believe this game is more or less over. I do not think Semper can basically lose. I mean, it'd be
He
very
would
hard
have
for
to,
Semper
yeah,
lose
he would
this
have
game.
to like, yeah. I'm not gonna say it either.
But there is no 5th base. Now he's finally getting this 5th base. JonSnow's done a good job having lings at the outside bases to monitor when they're coming in. And there are a lot of infestors here, but no neural parasite, no infested Terran anymore. Just infestors. I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
I don't think so. There's a lot of Archons here. The Zealot count isn't that crazy, but like, I don't know, man. Carrier count is pretty. You know, there's more interceptors.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my lord. GG Semper with the wow. Holy moly guacamole.